Hello everybody and happy Saturday. This is John from Windy City, Origami. こんにちは皆さん。土曜日今日はいい天気ですね。皆さん見てくれてありがとうございます。これから面白い折り紙を説明します。今日はカエルです。Today we will be folding a frog. So this is a fun one. I used to enjoy this when I was much younger. And it's fun for all ages. This is the most complex that we will be folding for the month of May. Coming up in June, we're going to be moving on to some more intermediate folds. So stay with us. We've got the calendar coming right up. In fact, it should already be posted on the Windy City Origami Facebook page. So if you haven't checked us out on Facebook, that is our main location. You can see a lot of previous folds on there and the rest of the schedule for June. じゃあこれから始めましょう。Today we'll be folding the frog. So pick out a colored paper. That's the first step. You're going to want to get a colored paper out. So I'm going to get a green color to represent my frog. So pick out your paper. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is take the paper and hold it so it's white side up. And we're going to fold it in half on the diagonal. There's two little pockets. You're going to push your finger inside of this first pocket. And if we go to the next step, we can see what's happening here. So as you pull it open over to the side, what you're going to do is squash the paper down. Okay, it's going to open all the way up, go all the way inside of here, all the way to the corner. See, I had to push my finger all the way in there to get that to go down, and then go ahead and press the paper all the way down. Okay, so now if we look at the next diagram there, you can see what the result looks like. So next it's saying turn the paper over. Turn it over like this. And we're going to do that same exact thing with the pocket. So one thing I like to do is kind of fold it over here first, and then open it up so it's going straight up, and then push my finger all the way in, and then push it down to the bottom. So this is a great introduction into the month of June, where the crane, which uses the same exact base. So next what we're going to do is fold the flap of paper over here on the right side. We're going to fold that to the center. Fold that all the way to the center. And next what we're going to do, if you take a look, it says open the flap of paper on the right over to the left and squash fold it flat. So we've done, what we're going to do is fold it, unfold it, open it up, just basically fold it over. So now we've got the flap here, and put your finger inside it, and now we already have the creases in place. It will go straight down really nicely once you do that. So again, you're over here, fold it, open it, find the pocket, push it down. The folds are already going to be there. That's the great thing about that. Couple of flaps over, and then repeat step 7 on the 3 remaining flaps, squashing each fold. So to do that, you can see what this is ending up as. All of these edges are going down into creating now a diamond, an up diamond. So all we're going to do is fold this over to the left, and now you're going to see here we've got another flap. Same thing. Fold it into the center. I'm going to pre-crease it. Fold it right into the middle. And go ahead and get the crease going. Just like that. And fold this over. And open it up. And press down. And now fold over to the right. And now we have this completed on one side. So now if we turn the whole model over, we can repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay. And we might as well get it started on the other side as well, since we're going to have to do that anyway. Increase that down. The secret here is accuracy. You want to be as accurate as you can. So now what we're going to do is fold this and put our finger inside and press it down. Okay. Then this is going to fold over to the right. And now this whole piece is going to go over here. Get our finger inside. And go ahead and press it down. And then fold over to the left. So now, to get ours to match step 9, we're just going to fold one flap over to the left, and go over, turn it over, and fold another flap over to the left. Now if we check, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on another side. So if you have too many, let's say you've got 2 over here, and 6 over here, you're going to have to rebalance. Just take 2 of them and move them over. Okay? So now what we're doing is creating a petal fold along the dotted lines. So the easiest way is to fold, easiest way to do this for everybody is to fold this to the middle line, okay? Just going like this. I'm going to go right there to the middle. Fold that on one, and then go on the other side and do the exact same thing. Okay, so once you get those started, open that up. Now you're going to see here, this goes all the way up to here. Now imagine there's an invisible line drawn right across from this point here to this point over here. This takes a little bit of practice, but you can do is put your thumbs inside of here, kind of line up where the top of that is, and we're going to start folding it up. You can kind of go all the way over to the corner here. You can see right where that line matches up. That's where I want to crease it. So I can start the fold going, and get on the other side as well. Go roll it, roll it, roll it until you can see it come to the tip of where that line finishes, and it finishes right here. So now it's starting to kind of open up, so I'm going to encourage that, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a line going to go straight up. So if you notice on mine, when I close it, I have a big gap here, so you can see there's the center line right. Mine has a gap. It should be going straight up to that line. So here's a trick. If you end up folding this and they're wide open, like you can see right, in order to fix that, what you would do is if it's wide, you have to pull the paper up further. If it's closed, you're going to have to pull the paper down. Does that make sense? So line right here is either going to be folded further up or it's going to come down. So if you have too much white space in here like I do, this line has to go up. So my line was not high enough. So I'm just going to scoot the paper just a little bit higher on there. Now you can see, really hard once you've already kind of folded it in. Now you can see those are going straight up to the top. See how those got corrected? So if you have too much white gap in there, you folded that line too low. It's hard sometimes to correct it, but that's the method. Okay. So that's a little bit of a tricky one. So this is the end of the beginner's month, and we're plowing through some more complicated origami. So let me show that again for everybody. You folded it side here, the differences over here. Open it up, fold the paper up, this, and these are going to come down, and they should match. Shouldn't have much space there. Okay, so that's that step right there. And you can see in step 10, it's just showing the flaps coming together to create that. So you're gonna have to do that all around the entire model. Okay, and 3 more times. So let's just turn it over, and let's do the other ones directly on the back. Now, if you didn't get a chance to get that perfect last time, I'll give you a couple extra pointers here. This might make it a little bit easy. So the method I used previously is a little bit advanced because you kind of have to know where you're going to be folding the. So in order to get it more perfect, what you can do is kind of cheat a little bit. Take the whole top flap and fold it down, and see, I've already done it on the back, but see, you can fold it down, and then now I have a reference. Now I know exactly where that paper. So watch how much faster and easier it is now. That goes straight up, and look at that. They line up really, really well. Still a little bit more white space than I would like, but it's good enough, I think, for this. Okay. So next, we're going to fold over. There's 2 layers here, 1 layer and 2 layer. What I'm going to do is fold it over like this. I'm going to go over to the back, and I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, and push it over. Okay. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing all around. So the more accurate you can get this as far as these being closed, the cleaner your frog will look. So I've gone ahead and folded those in, and I'm going to open them up. I've got a reference line here already started. I'm going to open that up. See, now this one's too far open, so I'm just going to just pinch it up just a tiny bit, a little bit up further. It's going to give it just enough so it can stretch all the way to the middle, to a point where I'm satisfied with it. Okay, as you can see there, turn it over. We got 1 more to do. Fold this straight in. And this can be time consuming, so I'm going a little bit fast. So, feel free to take your time. And the nice part is that even though we are live, you can pause it and go at your own pace. So you don't need to feel like you need to rush. Keep up with me. Okay, so now like this, it's all folded up. Okay. Next step, number 11. Fold the paper to the center along the dotted lines. Well, look at that. We're going once again into the center. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to fold it into the middle, and you can see it's getting really thin. So try to get it as accurate as you can all the way down to the tip. The same thing on the other side. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing, repeat steps 11 on the remaining 3 sections. So we'll just turn it, fold these into the middle. Do it on the other side. Just like that. All right, great. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to open it up on this side, up on the other side, and then just switch them like a little Christmas tree, switching it around. Now we can do these. Pull these into the center. that going in there. Get the next one going into the middle. Turn it over. These other two going into the middle. This is probably my favorite model out of the month of May. I do like this frog. Out of view here. So I'm folding a frog that's a little bit smaller than the one. Oh no, I think it's the same size. Alright, so now everybody should look like this. Again, feel free to take your time, pause if you need to. And next what we're going to do on the legs. Okay, so this is showing, it is hard to tell which layer they're doing. So to look at that, you can go right ahead to the next one. As you can see, they did the back layer first. So let's zoom in and try to look just like that. Okay, so you can see it going up. So we're going to do the back. So here, there's one piece kind of coming out over here. Another piece here. These are the four legs, little corners down here. Okay. So with those four corners, you're going to take the back ones, the two in the back. And what you're going to do is open up the back, and then what you're going to do is a reverse fold. So you're going to put your finger inside of here, grab it. See, how far do you grab it? Go as far as the paper will let you go. Okay, and it'll come to a point where it's really hard to pull up anymore. That's the bottom of the paper. You can't go any higher than that. So I'm keeping my finger in the back here. It's keeping that back layer open right now. My thumb here, and I'm simply doing a valley fold up as far as it'll let me go. And then once I get it up, I'm in action of this. I'm going to change it so it's going now folding the other way. You can see how I'm doing that. So now all we can do is align it. So you see here's too far up. I'm just going to swivel it. We can go down, we can go up, create whatever. So as you can see on here, this is the frog's top leg, okay, or front leg. So mine are coming out of the model a little bit. And I think that just happened by, over time. I'm thinking. To my knowledge here, let me just ahead. There is nothing extra with pulling the legs out. So I think it's to you whether you want to have the legs coming out a little bit or whether you want to have the legs kind of sticking inside. So right now I folded it just like the model. Oh, it's too far in on mine. I'm going to pull it out a little bit more. That's what the book says. I kind of like that. My other one had the legs coming out a little bit more. So as you can see, the legs can come out a little bit more on the right if you want. I'm going to follow what it says in the book. Then push it down. You got two corners here. You're going to push really hard. That should flatten that out. Okay, great. And now you're going to do the same thing. Just open it up. Put your fingers inside. Pull it all the way up as far as it'll go. Bring it up all the way. What you do is pinch that closed. Start turning it the other way. And line it up so it's parallel with that. And go ahead and push it down here. Apply that force down at the bottom. Well, there we go. So we've got two front up. Now for the back legs, as you can see, we're going to fold the back legs up. So we're going to take this front layer, and what we're going to do is find that same spot down at the bottom, or opening it up with our finger in here, opening it up, and we're bringing it up. Find that pivot point, come all the way up, flatten the paper first, and then change the direction. Okay, now we can move it to the spot we need it. And if you look in the drawing there, it's about like this. So I'm going to go ahead and press it down. Okay, just like that. And next what we're going to do is the same thing on the other side. So again, we're going to open it up, grab the paper, come all the way up, This one, the paper's coming together pretty close. So sometimes what you can do, the paper's really, really close in there, you can kind of pull, take your fingers and just kind of roll a little bit, and you can get the paper to come out, open up a little bit in there, because what you have to do is fold it in half. If you're folding it in half and the papers are coming right up against each other, you got to kind of space it out a little bit. So line it up. Go ahead and get it lined up so it matches, and go ahead and press it down. Okay, just like that. Alright, I hope everybody's looks like mine. The next thing which we missed on the previous step was to kind of bring these over. So we're going to start creating some of the hands. Same thing, you're going to pinch right here and do a reverse fold. Push it down. Do a reverse fold like that. The same thing on the other side. Try to make it symmetric. And now on the legs, we're doing the same thing down here with the hind legs. Coming down like this. Coming down like this, and then the same thing on the other side. Kind of move them so they like that, lining up, looking similar. Great. Okay, next thing is we're going to do the back legs. We're going to just bring them out, do reverse folds here, just like that, and then same thing over here. Right, we're almost done. もうすぐ終わりますよ. Okay, so now, see, our frog is starting to come to life. What we have to do is move these little ones to another little tiny reverse fold for the front leg. Something like that. Something like that. To make them look however you want. So now the last part is the head, and here it mentions you can just simply do a mountain fold to back, which is what was done over here. So you can see this tip was up, and then all I did was pull it back, and then you can draw your eyes. So I'm a bit of more of an interesting technique. It's called a sink fold, and this is getting into more intermediate complex origami. But let's get the mountain fold going first. So get it in a good spot, just about there. Press it down. Fold is rather interesting. So to do a sink fold, you open up the paper and you have that line that went through all of the pieces. So what we need to do is open up the entire section here. So we're going to open it up like a Christmas tree. And it's going to be very sensitive, so it can tear pretty easily. If you notice down at the bottom, we can't really open it up to kind of put our finger inside. Usually you search for a method of that to kind of get your fingers inside so you can push it open. So we need to really be very careful and open as far as we can around all the edges. Release as much tension as we can from the middle. So really open it up like I'm doing. Use a whole bunch of different fingers, and then very, very carefully kind of pull. Be very, very careful and just pull. So I'm trying to grab as much as I can to kind of pull out. You can see how that's kind of spreading at the tip, spreading. I'm going to now get my finger in there. Just keep pulling and push it down. And now the paper just popped open over here. So I'm going to try to pop it open all the way around. And now you can see it's finding that fold that we made. So it should be finding it. So pop it open all the way. This is going to be very 3D now. Pop it open right here. Going in there. You want this whole thing up here down to be flat. The ones that matter the most are the ones in the front, which would be this one right here. That one matters. Just try to go all the way around and as pinched down as you can to match the existing folds. I'm pinching it around. Coming back, it's up, it's too far up. I need to bring it down a little bit. There we go. Get that to go in. Same thing over here. Have to go in. See how the whole thing now is going inside? One of them didn't open up over here. That one opened up all the way. Now mine just kind of collapsed a little bit, but as you can see, I pushed it in, and as I pushed it in, now all of these other edges here are kind of returning back to their original shapes. So everything's now kind of coming back together. You can see that right at the tip. So it's kind of cool. That whole entire big there just got flattened inside. And as it was flattened inside, it kind of brought these ridges back into shape. And once you have all that, you can go ahead and press it down like this. And now you can see all that paper went inside. See, there's a flat. So that's a sink fold. That's an interesting fold. Some people have commented in the past they didn't like this little flap, so you can fold that down if you want. But far enough, you can actually tuck it kind of inside. And you can kind of roll it away. And that's completely optional, but that just gets the little triangle out of the way. Completes our frog. One last thing. This is fun for kids, is if you want to decorate your frog, what you can do is get out a pen, and we'll draw some eyes on here. There we go. Now we've got a cross-eyed frog. So it's a neat model. Again, that is optional. The sink at the end is optional. You can just fold it straight over. Same effect, same type of result. And that completes the frog. All right, so I hope everybody enjoyed. Stay tuned for our schedule in June. We're going to be doing more intermediate folds, but they're going to be all fun ones. Some of them are very interactive. All right, 皆さんありがとうございます。また6月ですね。We'll see you guys in June. Bye bye.